Don't blink, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to Commentary Show. Today, guys, doing well because I'm having a wonderful day on this 4th of September 25. Sorry, um, we're collecting diamonds. I'm not playing Minecraft, something similar though. I'm also doing well on this 4th September 2025, second morning in a row that we make it up to the sunrise, which yesterday, it's insane because, oh my god, you guys aren't seeing this behind me. There's literally a plane right now who's making a line in the sky, and it's beautiful because of the color of the sun. So yesterday we talked about the rising so early, and the effect it was. It ended up being a 40 minutes video called Morning Thoughts, and kind of a cool video to do. I'm not gonna do a 40 minutes video to do. Don't worry. However, there is something there. We're having a good time making content. And for example, the body is a wonderful thing, right? Doing clips. No, that's not true. I'm not doing them, I'm just uploading them. Cause I'm still standing better than I ever did. Looking like a lone. Did you guys know that the guy who plays Elton John and his movie Rocket Man sang this song in a movie called Sing in 6 years before? Oh. In the morning you don't have an immune system. Once again, is the vampires gonna kill me? The vampires gonna kill me? No. I died a horrible death. Psychotic. C'est la vie. So second day, and although I am so got increased enemy spawn. Each wave cash earned per kill increased by 30%. That is huge. That is huge. Okay, so got another card. You know what? I'm gonna trade you for health. I'm gonna trade you for enemy balance. Give me a sec. I'm still standing better than I ever did. We bought a new card because that was a mission, and it's ended up being something good. So yeah. I'm still standing better than I ever did. Looking like a lone survivor. Second days and we're already doing much better. It's insane how quickly the body adapts itself. Because we had some new Nutella, but let's pretend like it wasn't the reason as to why we're in a good mood. My mood is better. The general sense of my mental health is better. Yesterday was rough. Today is rough, but less rough. My body, however, is shutting down. We still have a cold, which is not a cold. It's just when you wake up in the morning, your immune system is still asleep. So you're pushing your system towards sickness, I guess. Sickliness, and your body's like, I need some sleep, bruh. But this is also great because yesterday we worked so hard. We worked so hard even though we slept for 9 hours. Like I said, yesterday was the hardest I've worked for a while because my phone, this phone had 3 minutes left of storage. So I was pretty happy. However, it's kind of insane because this morning I'm not being honest about me wanting to wake up. I'm like, bro, I want to sleep. But I saw this line. So this line that you see here was a really nice shade of pink. Like, oh, that would be a cool video to do. So I woke up right now. And do I want to go be up right now? No. I want to sleep, dude. But, so I'm not being honest, right? However, we're up. And give me a couple minutes. Yes, that's the thing. My first video was the morning thought, like how hard it was to wake up in the morning, right? And that video was like 40 minutes long. Yes, it's 40 minutes long. Because I ramble, you know? And there's a completely different person in the morning, in the beginning and the end. In the beginning, I'm like, I'm so tired. In the end, I'm like, you know what? Never mind, I'm good. We're good, bro. We're doing okay. We're doing okay, you know? And it's not perfect, but I mean, if we are doing better, at least this is that. This is that. Does that make sense? No. Ooh. Oh well. And you're gonna be the same thing this morning, right? I'm already having, I think, I'm not sure, but I think the waking up is the hardest part. The awake is the new part. And I think what changes here is you're adapting quicker. Because you're adapting quicker, it seems like it's less rough, but it's still that rough, right? And then in a couple of days, it won't be hard at all because this whole adaptation to waking up early will be gone. And because it will be gone, it won't be a problem anymore. But it was a non-problem to begin with. A problem is something that you have a hard time fixing, right? And it's cool. Because you having a hard time fixing it mean that there's a problem. You having a problem means that you have something to fix. Something to improve. If you had no problem, you're either perfect or you're in denial. One of the two. Right? Yesterday, I also wasn't honest because did I work hard? And this is something that's kind of nice. Did I work hard because I wanted to or because I had to? Yesterday was the last day that I had for Prison Break. And we did finish the show. We finished season 4. So season 4 was 2008. Season 5 was 2017. So you could finish season 4 and be just peach and dandy, and it's all good, you know? If it was, I would have not worked as hard if it wasn't the last day, so. Again, here, you could argue about how honest I am. You know, well, you didn't really want to do it, you had to. You're right. Want versus need, which is at the base of every society, right? But at the same time, I force myself to work that hard, and here we are today. I'm gonna be working hard today too. So just like waking up, your body or your brain, but also your body, because your brain. People say people say that the brain will lead the body. Yeah, but if the body refuses to cooperate, there's nothing to lead, you know? The body, just like when you're sleeping, is going to be adapting to working harder, you know? And I think this is where the difference is. It's not necessarily about, oh, well, I did this, and this, and this. It's, I was able to do this and this, and it's sort of okay, you know? So yeah, this is W. This is a victory itself. The fact that no matter what, I should do something good. No matter what, we accomplish something good, you know. And with something good, it's overwork. So it's negative to begin with, but at the same time, like, you want to work. I'm motivated, right? And even if the motivation is fear, because there's a fear that if I don't finish that day, which is yesterday, I won't be able to recap a show, which is Prison Break. You know? So then again, you're not being honest. And it's kind of nuts. But then, this, even though it is a lie to myself, of course, it's not the biggest lie ever. There's a possibility that I worked that hard because last week, we made a video of me asking myself, are you working enough? And realizing that I've worked less this year than last year. And wondering why we worked less. Yeah, it's windy today. It's windy. Like my chopstick. Chopstick. I like to keep them here because I eat on the balcony, so this is my only utensil that I'll leave there. For the garbage, though. It doesn't matter. You use them a couple of times and then you throw them away. There you go. Uploading. Maybe because I made that video and I was disappointed in myself because I thought that last year I worked harder. Maybe I pushed myself to work harder. If there wasn't that video, did I work as hard yesterday? I don't know. There's a part of me that gave up on Lost. I know that season 3, episode something. And I was like, dude, you got 3 seasons left. You're not gonna be able to do it. So fuck it, right? I wish I would watch more Lost, but still, I don't think I would have been able to finish it. And then you could argue that the difference between Lost and Prison Break was Lost was before that video, where I'm mad at myself for not working as hard. Is it a coincidence? Possibly. Right? And the truth is, Prison Break was good. Season 4 was good, but it wasn't the best thing I've ever watched, right? But it's really good. It's really, really nice. It's such a legacy, right? So you're like, wow, what a good show. So this morning, I'm not sure what to do. I have to go see my father. It's not gonna be relaxing. I'm gonna have to sleep more because I like sleep. I slept for 2 hours, which is not good. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna go back to bed. I'm achieving goal right now, which is to stay up during the sunrise. There's no choice, right? So to see my father's gonna be fun though. I would also like to do some bike. That would be nice, right? That would be really nice, actually. And question is, why is today so important? Well, because yesterday we worked hard. So today is the comparison. I worked harder yesterday. Today, if the motivation is fear, then it's a motivation. But fear shouldn't be the motivation. Being happy doing what you're doing should be the motivation, you know? And that's pretty much it. So you're worried about how it will self-perception is actually important here. Self-perception in the sense of we're pushing ourselves to achieve a certain something, and that certain something is only as important as something else. I'm working harder. Because in the past I worked less. By working less, I'm able to say I work harder. If by working hard, it was something that I would do every single day, then I couldn't say, oh, I worked harder. Because now you work as hard as you did yesterday. So it all becomes meaningless, right? And that's actually a good thing because, like, wow. I really thought I did good. But I didn't. But then here's like the problem. You convince yourself that you're not doing good when you're doing good. And this is problematic in a sense of you becoming your biggest enemy, your biggest opposite to say. And you becoming your biggest enemy is self-conditioning yourself to failure. Because you're so hard with yourself that the only exit is failure. When there is failure, you're like, oh well, I knew I wasn't able to do that. Right? And here's the thing, I'm not a fighter in life. I fight, but I'm not a fighter. I usually fail a couple of times and then I give up. So I'm like, well, if it didn't work twice, it's not gonna work. So I have like this barometer where I'm like, dude, this is not gonna work. But it's gonna work, you just don't give yourself the chance. So yeah, the second day out, second day, top notch, top form, sick, but we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. It's not a question of perception. You see the sunrise behind me? That's the goal. It is to film that. But it is important to understand that I would have slept as much. I would have been waking up a bit early, later that day. 12, noon, whatever. And my body wouldn't perceive this as early. Because it's early. Right? Because it's early. Other fact that I put in an alarm clock. I only put alarm clock when I'm working, so I only put an alarm clock when I'm working. But when I'm working, it's a totally different thing. See, you wake up, right? You take a shower, you brush your teeth, you make a coffee, you go to work, right? But even if you go to work, you have to take the metro, the bus, or you take your car, right? So there's a difference between I'm leaving the house and I'm making videos. I'm going to work. It's because you're setting yourself up, you're preparing yourself mentally. It's easier. I've woke up 28 minutes ago. We did a 7 minutes video on a intro, and this is my morning, right? So there's no time for in between, and this is why the apartment is so toxic right now, because there's no instances of a difference between work and home and work is the same thing. They're blending. They're two reality that's blending. A reality of me being in a safe place, in a sanctuary, able to relax, and a reality of work, performance, quota, results. And the craziest thing is, I'm not gonna fire myself. It doesn't mean that I don't want to fire myself. See, you see yourself, right? You see yourself at this, and this is kind of insane, right? Because you see yourself as your boss, as your own boss, right? Oh, I'm in charge of this. Ergo, I'm the boss of this. This is making content, so there's departments. Food, reviews, gaming, right? I'm the department of each and every single one of them. When I'm not happy with how much each department gets, I get stricter. So I'm looking for a culprit. There's only me, so the only culprit possible is me. So I put that myself, you know? And then a lot of people will say, hey, I'm my own boss. And the question is, would you hire yourself? If you weren't your own boss, would you hire yourself? Some people will say no. And they said, if somebody was working the way you were working in your company, would you fire them? And if one of the answers to these questions is yes, if you would fire yourself, or no, you would not hire yourself, then it's problematic. But you won't fire yourself, right? You're not gonna fire yourself because you'd be a madman. I had this wonderful job, but I fired myself. What? Doesn't make any sense. Or would you were in a position where you're like, yo, would I hire myself? And most of the time you say yes because you see you're positive. So you're positive, like, hey, I bring this to the table, I bring this to the table. Yeah. There was instances, I think it last month, right, where somebody said it was bragging about being nice, right, and about doing a lot of things to help, and helping out each and every single day. But then he was helping out his girlfriend, and he was like, I'm a good person. But his action was not selfless, because he's not helping a stranger, he's helping his girlfriend, making his own life easier. He would have not done that for a stranger. Because he would have not done that for a stranger, then this whole reality of I'm a good person is flawed, because it's not honest, it's dependent or reliant on the fact that I do know this person. This person is my girlfriend. You know? And it is insane. Because if it wasn't your girlfriend, you wouldn't help her. But if you weren't your boyfriend, she would not accept your help. Like you're a stranger danger. Fuck off. So yeah, there's a lot of that things, right? So you're in your own universe and you're taking care of everything, and it's hard because you're your own judge, lawyer, and executioner, and you're in a position where I did so bad, but if you're your own judge, lawyer, and executioner, it doesn't make any sense. Because you're forgiving yourself. Sorry for the burps. It's early morning. Etiquette went out the window. Etiquette is not coming into it today to work. Etiquette is coming to work in 2 hours. For now, Etiquette is still on vacation. Cuba, really nice place. So yeah, so you're your own judge, executioner, borough, and now. You're your own judge. I'm taking it in French. Judge, lawyer, and executioner. Right? I absolute myself. I find myself guilty. Now the judge find myself guilty. The lawyer did the best he could, but he couldn't defend the undefendable. And then the executioner is supposed to execution, right? So you're gonna execute yourself. So by not executing yourself, you're in the eyes of the law. Allowing or enabling people to be bad. You're enabling criminal to be criminal, right? But you're your own criminal. You're your own executioner. So this system of justice, which is failing you. But the system of justice is based on your own opinion of justice, your own value, your own morals, your own ideal, your own universe, right? Some laws. So you would have one of the movies that I liked when I was young was Will Smith, Osmosis Jones. So Osmosis Jones was a cop in the body of Bill Murray. Bill Murray was the character they played was very sick. And the whole movie is about virus and antibodies, right? And his whole body is a universe, right? And there's a law system, and the villains are viruses or bacteria, but the main hero, for example, the Buzz Lightyear, the Woody, the Buzz Lightyear was a medication, and the medication come in, and he had a cannon on his arm. It was really cool, right? You had your own system. My favorite insect, yesterday we saw a lot of them. Bees. They had this own ecosystem, right? They were a bit more advanced. They would have laws. They would have societies where certain laws are primordial, versus other laws. There's places in the world if you steal, they cut your hand. There's places in the world if you litter, they're giving you a ticket. They're a lot stricter, right? That strictness is discipline. I've seen this guy on social media, and he's Russian, right? And he goes around and he works out. And the kid worship him. They bring him candies. They say, "Please, can we work out with you?" And then you realize that the content creator is a good person, so he inspire people to be his friend. If you're a good person, people want to be your friend, right? The reason why people are so in love with him is because most of the demographic is from Russia. In Russia, they value a lot of strength and being physically strong, embodies strength, and because he embodies strength, then the whole thing of, I'm working out to become stronger is a constant cycle of adoration. I was born in a society that embodied a certain aspect of life. Because my society dictates that I have to follow this peculiar example, right? This peculiar example. And it's insane. It's insane because then it's early morning, it's normal. You're embodying something. grew up in a country or a culture that embodies this value, because my country embodied these values. This is a value that makes me, and because I had a bit of a work ethic, this value became my main goal, my main focus, the main matrix of my life, right? And because you say that, then you're embodying this value, and because you embody this value, people say that, oh, you're a good representation of our country, you do us proud, right? And this is, ultimately speaking, this is the guy working out, right? So super simple, a strictly physical aspect, right? But then you go into a more religious aspect, which is also important. And the more religious aspect is important because, for example, I was talking to this guy, right? He's talking about how, talking about the Muslim religion, Islam, right? He's Muslim, and he likes to share his religion. He has a lot of passion for his religion. So when we see each other, he talks about it. I'm like, bro, it's a lot, but hey, I talk to you guys. Okay, so the guy fixes phones, right? When I see him, he talks about his religion. It's a lot, right? Because for then I'm like, I'm not uncomfortable because I'm like, okay, but he's very insistent and he's very fond of it, but also very convinced that this is the one and only way. Do I believe in religion? Yes. However, I think that there's supposed to be more than one truth, and enabling the fact that there's supposed to be more than one truth means that every single truth that exists is lesser by value. If there's only one truth, there's only one answer. If there's multiple answers, every single answer is less valuable than a one unique answer. But then, where's the value? An answer or knowledge? The value is knowledge. I'd rather have less valued answer, but a brighter horizon and a brighter range of ideas and opinion than something that is a dictator, where there's only one way. A sort of monarchy of idea, a sort of monarchy of value, morals. You know, when I was young, my father had to. I wasn't listening. My father had to go the physical route raising me, right? And as a kid, I'd hate him. So like, how can you do that to your own son? How can you do this to a human being? And I realized that if he didn't do that, I would be a piece of shit. My biggest regrets in life is I left home, and my father was very strict. My mom was really chill, but my mom, I only saw her like, I didn't see her a lot. So yes, she was very chill, but it didn't matter in the grand scheme of things because the most time that I was doing is with my father, which was very strict, right? And my father was very strict and very. So then I left, right? And I went to the apartment. So the first thing that I did was fuck rules, fuck laws, fuck society. Because I'm a representation of a dictator with my father being the only voice of reason in the house. No matter what I was saying, I wasn't my father. No matter what I was saying, I had no authorities. I had no authorities. I had no powers. I had no powers. I had no truth. I had no truth. I had no voice. So a cage of discipline. And the first thing I did, right? The first thing I did was say fuck that. So I slept at the time that I want. I ate what I want, which was a blessing. The very first thing was very, very, very positive. Finally, freedom. And then I wasn't comfortable in my own skin, so I was keeping myself in this realm of being alone, self-discovery, right? Playing video games, watching TV, listening to radio. Realm of myself. Who is Ingven Bena? 20 years old, you're discovering that. At 22 years old, money runs out. So what you do is you go out in the world. And you're a decent person. You're a decent person because you were raised to be a decent person. Right? And then you have your first heartbreak. Right? And like, oh my god, this is bad. And then you have your first reality where you're not a good employee, so you get fired, right? And like, oh, I failed. I failed professionally and I fell in love. The only aspect of my life I couldn't choose. I couldn't dictate. I can take off all my clothes right now, go run in the streets. I'll get arrested, but it's my choice. I go to work. I don't do a good enough job. I get fired. It's not my choice. Yes, I didn't do a good enough work, but at the same time, I didn't. Okay, I did do a good enough job, which is myself, me being guilty. However, I didn't set up the expectation. So if the expectation are at a certain level and I didn't put it, and my performance is subpar, these said, if my if my performance is subpar this expectation, then I'm subpar what is expected of me, which is mean that I'm not doing a good job, right? So that's it. I can't control that, right? The first thing I did when those things were broken, when I lost my job, when I lost my mind, I became an absolute menace. I became a villain. I was lying, I was manipulating, I was using people, I was a disgusting person, right? Now, this is gonna sound like such bullshit, but what made me go back to being a good person was guilt. I was like, bro, you can't treat people like that. This is disgusting. How dare you? And because I said that, I became this good person once again, right? Arguably. And I became this good person again. And the goal behind it was, hey, I'm this good person because I choose to be this good person. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing just fine. I lied, I'm dying inside. Hey, how you doing? Such a good song. And you're guilty, and you find yourself disgusting. So because you find yourself disgusting, this is your, again, what I just said. You go to work, right, and they put this bar of expectation. And if you be beneath it, you're not good enough. If you be above it, you're amazing. And you find yourself disgusting, which is your own bar of, your own barometer of measurement. I am a good person because I I'm a good person because I fall in the criteria that I personally believe to be a good person. Those criteria are based from past experience, based on opinion, based on values, based on upbringing, based on culture, because again, the culture that I am in is important, right? Or B, I'm a bad person because I don't follow those, right? And because I don't follow those, I'm a bad person. Again, me being my own judge, law, and executioner. I love crow. Crows are beautiful birds too, and they're really smart. This is what you hear cracking. I don't know is that how you call it? Cracking? I don't know. Because you're your own judge, lawyer, and executioner. You execute yourself on not on a physical level, but on a spiritual level. And you find yourself disgusting, and you're like, you're the scum of the earth. You gotta improve yourself, right? And that's the reality. It's not the reality that you chose, it's the reality all at the same time. And it's sort of nice because you're this human being with flaws. And those flaws serve purposes. And one of those purposes is to be the best person you can be. But if you choose, we died. I did 20Ks though. 20K. That's actually pretty good. You put yourself in that position. And that position allows you to do whatever and wherever you want to do. This is the important part. This is the really important part. I'm able to do whatever I want, right? My whole life is dictated by myself. I choose to be a good person, I choose to be a bad person, right? And it's insane because I don't know how you could consciously do the choice of being a bad person. But then at the same time, hey, that's your choice and you have to respect it. Itachi Uchiha. No? Okay. Worth a try. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing just fine. I lied. I'm dying inside. And it's nuts. It's nuts. Because you create your own system, right? All of this to say, I created this own system where I allow myself to work. See, watch Prison Break, Prison. Watch Walking Dead. They create this society, and everybody needs to pitch in, right? Because you're a judge, lawyer, and executioner, you create your own society. Just like the movie Osmosis Jones, where you're everything and anything. You're every single person. You represent every single member of your universe. You represent every single member of your reality. You represent every single member of your utopia. Utopia is being happy. I live a good life. I am utopia. I live a shitty life. I'm living in a dictatorship that I fucking hate. Dictatorship called money, and it sucks because you made that choice, not because you want to, but possibly because you're forced. And you made that choice, and it's not a good choice. And you're like, oh well, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to answer to this. I don't know how to react to this. And it's nuts because there's no answer to this. This the answer on how to live the perfect life is the answer of what is life in itself. And people believe we live in a simulation. And possibly to prove that you don't live in a simulation. If somebody was playing video games where they were me, they wouldn't sit here talking to you guys for 3 hours a day. And they wouldn't. I would demand a refund. Then you play Sims, and they do the same thing, and they're talking in a language that you don't understand, but they're doing the same thing, you know. So you create your own expectation. What I'm trying to say, because you create your own expectation, you're in a position of asking yourself a lot. You're asking yourself a lot, you know. You're asking yourself too much, or you're not asking yourself enough. Right? So this is really cool. It's really cool. And the fact that you don't have an answer is also good, because I think part of the fun is to find this answer. There's 3 versions of truth. And there's 3 versions of how to live your life. The first version is how your parent taught you. My parent taught me X values. Second is how society teaches you, right? Oh, well, society claims that this is not okay and this is okay, right? Then you got the third version, which is yourself. I acknowledge that this is good, this is not good. I personally believe this is not good. For example, you'll see something that will trouble you. And it's not troubling others. Why am I reacting towards that? Why am I uncomfortable with this? It's all here. Right? And ultimately, you have a fourth reality, which is having children. And those children shapes you because, okay, well, monkey see, monkey do, right? So if I'm a piece of shit, they'll be a piece of shit. And then society or the world will beat them down. Because like, hey, you're a piece of shit, fuck you. You know? This is also important. Because you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that piece of shit. You want to be somewhat of a decent human being. It's important to you, you know? And then you become you become another reality, because your whole life was self-centered. The most important person in my life right now is myself. Why? Because I've been there since day one. Why? Because when shit hits the fan, I'm there for myself. You know? My parents are there also, but I'm more there. I won't tell my parents, like, listen, I'm making content, it doesn't work. I'd be like, go fucking work, you know? But then you have a kid. And that kid represents everything that you want. Your legacy. It changes a life. And do something good. Chance to raise a human being. With your own thoughts and process. And your own fucked up reality, but still a reality, right? And you realize that there's something more important than you. And that's your kid, right? So your self-centered existence become a reality where you acknowledge that the greater good. The greater good is to being a good father versus being a good human being. And this is technically insane, because you would think that a great human being is a good father, and ultimately speaking, yes, it is, which is at the end of be all. There's a ton of good fathers that are not good human beings. And there's a ton of great human beings that are not good fathers, you know? It exists. It exists. And again, there's no barometer to say, hey, this is good, this is not good. Because there's no barometer to say, hey, this is good, this is not good. You don't have a reality. We self-check reality of... You don't have a self-check reality of, I'm doing A, B, C, D. And A, B, C are good, D is not good, but I'm allowing myself, you know? It's very intense. As a person, I can sacrifice my happiness. I'm like, you know what? I'm really craving X food, but I don't have enough cash to buy X food, so I'm not gonna do it. But if your son or your daughter comes to you and say, hey, Papa, can I have this, please? I really want it. It's a hard thing to say no, you know? It's a hard thing to say no. She self-sacrifice. And maybe the answer to life is that. Maybe the answer to life is not judge, lawyer, and executioner. Maybe the answer is... Maybe the answer is just that. It's self-sacrifice. And by achieving that, you achieve everything. By achieving self-sacrifice, you achieve self-enlightenment. Right? Achieve self-enlightenment. I was talking about my the Muslim friend, right? And he was born into a society where people are Muslim. He didn't choose religion. It was kind of imposed on him. My parents didn't impose religion on me. I wish it did, because I would be more religious. I would have a higher purpose than just this right now, you know? But then this is the path, this is the way, this is the chose as I chose. I could have chosen to be more religious. I didn't do it. Why? Can I blame my parents when I don't do the effort myself? Situation, right? And it's become quite ambiguous, because you're like, well, what's in the what? How much work am I willing to put in the work? How many times did you do overwork for yourself? When your boss asks you once, you're complaining. The sun is risen. We're fully awake. I'm going to see my father in an hour. My morning is great. Started out shitty. Ended up okay. And here I leave you. Have a nice day. Pretty good video. I'm gonna do these more often. I'm gonna call it morning thoughts. So waking up and the insanity of just waking up and and your brain is turning on. Imagining having those thoughts or this discussion at waking up. Most people won't. Being normal sucks. Being normal is boring. Anyway, I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.